He's Bob Costas. Looks like he's in pain. Bob, just
I'm
sits
okay.
down. You are.
I will grit my way through it.
Every time there's a big event, Bob, something happens to you.
You know, 2014 into 15.
What happened to you?
We start about a year ago in Sochi with some crazy eye thing. Then 2 weeks ago in New England, not for the championship game, but the divisional round, I can barely stand up straight. I pull out my back somehow. But I think I'm past it after 2 or 3 days. And now, a recurrence.
See, this has Sports Semi written all over it. Here you go, fighting through the pain. Just give it to him now.
Right.
Come on. Give him the Sports Semi.
You know what? You know what's good about this? You get to bypass some of the meetings that you figure you can do without anyway. And then you get to say to somebody, you know, that Wall Street Journal, that USA Today that's on the floor, could you just kind of bend over and hand it to me? Because I can't quite get to it.
Are you going to be on meds on Super Bowl Sunday?
You mean as opposed to every other Sunday?
Will you be shot up on Sunday?
Whatever they shoot me up with, I'm hoping that it doesn't fog my brain too much.
Do you get to...
I still think the Steelers have a great chance against the Vikings. That's how I see it.
Great, great. You're not on meds. Do you ever get to the point where you take it for granted that you're going to be great in doing an event, where you don't prepare the same way you did 20 years ago or think about it?
I'm taking it for granted I'm going to be adequate.
Yeah.
I'm taking it for granted that I'm not going to take the whole network down the drain. But, you know, with what we do, you know, Al, who is great. Al is great every time out.
Yeah.
Al is great, you know, week 11, wherever we are on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
But he has risen to so many occasions. Lake Placid, the earthquake in '89, the Dyson play where he almost got in. Barring a defensive foul, the game ends here as, you know, Brady hurls one to the end zone. There are going to be more circumstances where Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels will have a chance to be great. Switching sports, think of Kirk Gibson's home run. 2 of the 10 or 12 best baseball calls I've ever heard came on the same play. Jack Buck on the radio, I don't believe what I just saw, and Vin Scully, in a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. Doing what we do, and I interviewed Tom Brady yesterday. I think it was a good interview. I think that'll contribute something to the pregame show. But I think if we just kind of set the stage, get through it, don't mess up, do a decent job, and also make the other people look good. John Harbaugh will kind of be making his debut in this role. If I can help him to look good and be as good as he can be, then I will have contributed my part. And, you know, without getting too serious about it, the thing you dread, you don't want to have happen. You don't want the lights to go out like they did a couple of years ago, or you don't want some kind of disaster to happen. If that happens, then you or I might have a chance, if we're up to it, to do something worthwhile, but you have your fingers crossed that that doesn't happen and they don't need us that way.
Do we have a contingency plan for that?
Yeah, we do. I'm not at liberty to reveal it, largely because I missed the meeting while I was getting the MRI.
Yeah, I missed it as well. Now, here's my thought. Let's say Marshawn Lynch is MVP.
Yeah.
And I'm up on the podium.
Right. I'm going to enjoy that.
Oh, thank you, Bob. How does the Q&A, at what point do I just pull the plug and just acknowledge, hey, congratulations on a great game?
I think here's the question that served me so well through the years. Marshawn, your thoughts. There it is, your thoughts. It's open-ended.
How about, what if he just says, I'm just here to accept the MVP trophy?
Here it is. Congratulations.
Well,
Take a hike.
Also, what if I got Pete Carroll to interview Marshawn Lynch? So I said to Pete...
That's a very good idea because he's not going to diss Pete Carroll.
I wouldn't think so.
What if you were to say to Pete Carroll, assuming that the Seahawks win the game, Pete, you know Marshawn's contribution, what he meant to this game and what he's meant to this team better than anybody. What would you ask him in a moment like this? That's inspired. That's why you are who you are.
Wow. Yeah. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have Pete Carroll, if they win, or Russell Wilson, whoever's up there, then they'll do the interview with Marshawn.
Likeable, telegenic guys.
Yes. And, Russell Wilson yesterday, I got the chance to interview him. That'll be on Super Bowl Sunday as well. But you're trying to, and you have a son, you're trying to, and my son is a little bit younger than Russell Wilson. As I'm interviewing Russell Wilson, I'm thinking, what would my son be saying if I was asking him similar questions here? And then it kind of hits you. He's above and beyond, likable and conscientious, and his awareness is spectacular.
Yeah, he is.
And that's what's amazing to see. He was born to do this. He was born to be in these moments, and that's what I came out with.
You think some of it is just in a guy's DNA, but then some of it is also in their experience. Here's a guy I didn't know for sure whether he'd be playing for the Asheville Tourists somewhere in the minor leagues in the Colorado Rockies system. Third-round draft choice, right? Didn't they go out and sign Aaron Rodgers back up as their kind of first option after he threw the 6 touchdown passes in the snow a few years ago? So Russell Wilson, as brilliant as Bill Walsh was, one of the great coaches ever, if he knew Joe Montana was going to be that good, he wouldn't have taken him in the 3rd round. He wouldn't have waited.
Yeah.
And if Belichick and company had known that Tom Brady was going to be this good, they wouldn't have waited till the 6th round. And I think no matter how nice a guy is, when you've been bypassed that way, when you've been underestimated that way, that little bit of a chip on your shoulder serves you well.
Does Brady try to charm you when you sit down to do an interview?
I've never seen his disposition be any different. He has that sort of, each sentence kind of ends with a smile or has a smile within it. He was not the least bit defensive yesterday. I threw every question at him that I could think of.
Anything he wouldn't answer or expound upon?
I asked him at one point, so you're telling me that when this investigation is complete, which the league is now saying will not be until after the Super Bowl, you will be, I don't think I used the word exonerated. But you be they fan or foe, no one will be able to pin anything on Tom Brady. And he said something to the effect of, well, let's just wait and see how it comes out, which I thought was an intriguing answer.
Yes. Did you follow up to kind of say, what's that mean? Not to tell you how to do your job. I'm just curious if he was giving you the answer of a non-answer, and let's move on.
I thought it kind of spoke for itself.
Yeah. Do you believe, what do you believe about what happened?
Here's what I believe. Like Brunel said, like Aikman said, a few others, it's just not plausible that a guy who makes his living holding and throwing a football wouldn't be able to tell the slightest difference. If Tony Gwynn used, and I forget what it was, he used a small bat, 32 ounces, 33 ounces, whatever. If you handed Tony Gwynn a bat that was 33 and a half ounces, he could tell the half-ounce difference. You hand a pitcher a ball with seams that are slightly raised, he might say, oh, great, nobody caught this. This is going to help me. I'm not saying he should turn it in. It's gamesmanship, but he's going to know the difference. So I find it hard to believe that Tom would not have sensed some difference. But on the other hand, if he didn't order it done, if it just turned out that way and no one caught it, and the flow of the game, at least in the first half, was going his way and it was working his advantage, I've never seen a base runner who thought he was out and was called safe say, Mr. Umpire, no, just really, in the interest of ethics and integrity, I'm going to the dugout now.
What if they were overinflated? I mean, Brady didn't say anything because they're underinflated.
I would think he'd notice that too.
Yeah, but if they were underinflated, he must like that.
Yeah.
Whereas Aaron Rodgers likes them overinflated.
Right.
Then that was the only thing. And then, the whole thing about the Colts footballs that I just wanted to know, were they substandard as well? And I don't know if they did a test on all those footballs.
I would imagine if they're doing a thorough investigation, they're going to have to test the Colts footballs as well. You have to be careful in this, lest you find yourself in a Saturday Night Live skit.
I know.
To always say footballs.
Yeah.
Footballs.
Well, didn't Belichick get in trouble with, he says, I handle balls all the time.
Yeah. So, someone said that.
Yeah, and then fill in the laugh track. Can you stick around for the final segment?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh, okay. All
It's
right.
the final segment?
We'll take a break.
Yeah.
And then it's the final, well, not the final segment, but it'll be the
Of your
final
whole
segment
career.
today.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. It comes to a crashing end.
Let's see what I can do
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. We'll do so. We'll continue with Bob, and we'll do so next.